So, you want to be a book girly. You want to read and you don't know where to start. You've come to the right place. So, guys, you know what's funny? I started reading like consistently. Like, I considered myself to be a reader right when COVID hit. Right when COVID hit, school was online, came home. I was like, what the hell am I going to do with my days? And so I started reading. And weirdly enough, I discovered BookTube during quarantine as well. So that was like a crazy thing that I stumbled upon. I had no idea it existed, and I'm so glad I found it. So I have a lot of tips and tricks for you guys to figure out how to read, what books you might like to read, and just how to become a consistent reader. The first thing I have to say is it always helps to be surrounded by people who are also readers, finding book friends. I think some ways that I have found people in the past is like going to book clubs. So for example, there are several different book club meetings that are held in bookstores and in your local library. Excuse me, I'm going to say library this whole time. Thank you. So yeah, literally do a Google search, find out a local library in your area. They're probably going to have some kind of book club meeting going on. Join it, meet new people, and that's really going to be very helpful to become a reader. And if that is something that you don't want to do, then social media is going to be your best friend. Like the video you're watching now, finding all this content that's available on YouTube, on TikTok, on Instagram, it's really going to help you because it does help me feel like I am part of a community, whether that is the assortment of people that I follow on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube that are within the book community that help give me recommendations on books. They kind of, review and rate books, and I get to see, okay, if she liked it, then I'll probably like it. Let me read it. Even reading vlogs can be very helpful, and I find that if I'm not in the mood to read a book, just watching a book related piece of content can help me get back in the mood to read. The next thing I have to say is if you are just getting into reading and so you don't really know where to start, I have to say using your library and using the Libby app is going to be very, very helpful for you guys. So of course, go to your library, whichever one is in your county, get a free library card, and you're going to be able to get whatever book you want for free. It's literally it's the obvious answer, guys. Just go. And of course, Libby is an app that you can download on your phone. And once you get a library card, you can upload your library card to the app, and it allows you to digitally loan a book from a library. And so I have that app and I use it consistently. So the next thing I want to talk about is my Kindle. I love my Kindle and I use it every single day, but I would not recommend you buy a Kindle if you are just getting into reading. I don't think it's necessary to buy a Kindle if you plan on reading a couple books a year. If you're going to read one book a month, I don't think you need a Kindle. I honestly think it's probably going to be a little bit of a waste of your money if you were to do that. Unless you have money to waste, then go right ahead. But I find that a lot of times people become a little bit resistant to reading because books can get expensive. If you have seen book content, you can buy ceiling to floor bookshelves and people have them full of books, and I know that costs them a pretty penny. So yes, books can get very, very expensive, but like I said, using your library, using Libby can really, really help that. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend you buying a Kindle if you don't think you're going to be reading often. So the next thing I have to say is using your Spotify playlist as you're reading can be so helpful to get you back in the mood to read. The first time I ever used a Spotify playlist was when I was reading the book, The Song of Achilles. And before I even started reading that book, I was hearing a lot of like, oh, look at this playlist, it's so great. And so I was like, okay, let me get into it. And so I went on Spotify and I type in the title of your book and then playlist. And someone in this world has probably made a song playlist regarding the book that you are currently reading. And so I found the one for the Song of Achilles, and there's this one song in there that truly it truly like changed my reading experience when I was reading the Song of Achilles. And it's just that iconic song. What is it? Achilles, 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 come down, won't you get up off the roof. I don't know why, but that melody was like so, I don't know, it made me want to pick that book up, and I was like, I need to read this book. I need to. So Spotify playlist can help you become obsessed with a book, can help you finish a book, can help you get inspired to pick a book. Like, there's so many things that Spotify playlists can help you do, and so I recommend them so strongly. Something else that I will say is going to be very, very obvious, but guys, if you spend a lot of time on your phone, put it down, okay? It's okay. You can put the phone down, give it to someone in your house, like, hey, don't give this back to me until I've read for an hour. Like, if you need to do that, if you need to do that for you, then do that. Turn off the TVs in your house. I don't know, if you're like living alone, maybe turn the Wi-Fi off so you can't even do anything. So you have to pick up a book. I don't know if that's what I've never done that before, but if you need to do that for you, maybe you should try it. Then again, if you have like, security systems around your house that require Wi-Fi, don't do that. Obviously use this information at your own discretion. I'm just saying things at this point. Something else that really helps me is changing my environment. So a lot of the times, you might not be in your house alone. There might be other people in your house that are like doing things that are going to cause distractions, whether that's talking a lot, watching TV, using electronics that are going to tempt you to also join them, but you know that you want to be reading right now. Changing your environment is so helpful. So you could literally just go outside, just literally leave your house, go on your backyard, wherever you can be, and read so you have your alone time. Going to the library, going to a cafe, going to Barnes and Noble, a bookstore. Like, so many places are just the perfect breeding ground for like calmness, so that you can sit down and feel in the mood to pick up your book and continue reading. Also, if you are like super new into reading and you have not really found your niche, I think it's very helpful to think about what are your favorite movies and your favorite TV shows and what those things might have in common, plot lines, genre, like what's going on in them. And then once you can pinpoint that, you can just translate that into books. So if you're like, okay, I really love reading, I really love watching like action movies, or I really love watching, movies or TV shows with a female main character, or I really love this, that, and the other. Take what you love in the movie and a book and translate that into a book. You can find, Google is your best friend, okay? Google is my best friend. You can just go on Google and be like, hey, what are some books that are like these movies? What are some books that have these plot lines? What are some books that are this genre? Google is going to be your best friend when it comes to getting into reading and what books you should try out first. But those are my tips, guys, for getting into reading. I have to say that I think the first time that I got into reading to the point where, like, after I read that book, I was like, I think I'm a reader. That I would recommend to you guys would be a book series, which might sound kind of weird for me to recommend you guys a book series if you're new to reading, but I find that the best way to get into reading is to become obsessed with one book and to be like, oh wait, I think I want to pick up another. So I'm recommending this book to you guys because it's so such a nice time to like get into a book series, become obsessed with the setting, become obsessed with the world, the characters, their relationships, their growth, that once you finish it, you want more of that. So I am going to be recommending to you my favorite book series of all time. It's either my first or my second. I always kind of go back and forth with it, but it's definitely one that I always recommend, that I will always be obsessed with. And that is the Chaos Walking trilogy. Okay? Ever seen these books around? You should pick one up. They actually made a movie for it. Don't ever watch it. Okay? So yeah, it's a book series, 3 books. They're chunky, but like I said, this is YA, so it goes by so fast, and I promise you, you will not be disappointed. If, like I said, if you're new to reading, you can go on, what can you go on? I'm sure you can go on like Amazon.com. They have like the little sample of the book, or on Kindle, get a sample of the book. I'm sure you can find this on Libby, find this at your library. I really do recommend this book. It is such an amazing book. So it follows, like I said, it's like YA. We're following a male main character. He is 12, 13, and it's like this action. It's an action book, and it's like a journey, and we're going on. It's incredible. What is it? It's like sci-fi. It's fantasy. It's amazing. You'll love it. Trust me. Okay. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. My throat's dry. All right. Bye.